the theory of SDLD, social disorder learning disability. It basically comes from aesthetics. The Ethiopians constellated it, the Egyptians culturalized it, the Greeks intellectualized it, the Romans militarized it. If I may use the British, they colonized it. The Europeans or white Americans, if I may use that, even though they're considered to be two different people, so to speak, a type of European, systematized it and utilized it. Well, you can say that could begin with the West. A mechanism, a device. External therapy without internal clarity. Any group of people should have a mechanism in place, I would think, that will insulate them and protect them from hurt, harm, injury, or danger. External therapy without internal clarity. Social disorder learning disability. I would like to deal with the social or the work as a social interventionist first on myself, and hopefully I can be the model when it comes to this concept or this theory of breaking social barriers, the socially disabled. In doing so, one must understand the importance of society reconstruction, meaning feelings have become desensitized, thoughts demoralized, attitude dehumanized, communication devitalized, and actions can become destabilized. Yes. So we're dealing also with a spirit of apathy. This is not to offend anyone. When I use the term disabled, remember I said socially. Our interpersonal skills, our social interaction skills. Humans are just a type of a prototype of a carbon copy of the original pattern of his or her DNA when it comes to the essence of that DNA. social disorder, learning disability. It also deals with poor concepts, negative thoughts, self-defeating attitudes, poor communication, lack of integrity. Chinka Diop says, once you throw off the environment, a scholar says one's intellectual aptitude for learning becomes difficult. His or her surrounding. The aptitude, we know that some takes an aptitude test. A natural ability to do something. Say children may have a natural aptitude for painting. It is a natural inclination. Religious people who, under the teachings of Islam, would say that humans have a natural inclination toward the worship of Allah. Yet, there's a good brother who would say that it must be cultivated. Must be cultivated. But this natural inclination is a sustainability. Bend toward something that is useful. The mind at its best is to be productive. To be productive. In the religious sense, they would say that to be fruitful and multiply, it's about being productive. And when you stop being productive, then you consider to be useless. Useless. You can tell a society how they treat their very young and their very old. Whatever state an individual may be in, he or she is still considered to be of value and considered to be useful, because he or she is a part of the human family, and it binds us together as a family in brotherly and sisterly love. When I mean love as the manner and way in which we communicate as a family, our humanity. Most religious beliefs can agree with this. Treat people how you want to be treated. But this SDLD, if I may continue to talk about, when it comes to freaking social barriers, it comes to our interpersonal skills, our interaction skills, our communication skills, our listening skills, our business skills, our problem-solving skills, and even our journaling skills. Poor concepts, negative thoughts, self-defeating attitudes, poor communication, lack of integrity, these things that we need to overcome because they help play a part in socially disabling us. Look at the environment and how one relates to and interact with the environment, and how we even interact with ourselves. Before a child is able to speak a word, he or she pays attention to how the guide or the parent is interacting with the child and interacting with the parent and interacting with the environment. You are communicating a message to that child, whatever that message may be. And the manner in which you do it, you may do it on a frequent basis. And therefore, the frequency sends a message to the child. Not to mention many people who are maybe scientists or biologists or whatever word that comes into play, that research says that the brain is not fully developed until it's about 25 years, till the individual is 25 years of age. So if any toxics or drugs or chemicals come into play, it inhibits something in the brain, some blockage of one's receptors. And maybe he or she is not able to receive properly, and maybe unable to understand properly, get the proper understanding of the importance of being productive in the best of ways. And I could go a little too far off base in that wise, but I'm just trying to make a point here. And that point is that it throws off our the natural ability or the natural flow of evolving into to being mature. And I call it the maturation process, and that consists of understanding, tolerance, temperance, confidence, and respect. That we develop that sense of understanding the importance of being productive, the importance of being balanced when it comes to emotions and logic. Because there are those who may have, when you deal with child abuse and child neglect, child abuse, if you have the basic food, clothes, and basic necessities, food, clothes, and shelter, then that's not considered to be child abuse. But if the child may not get the mental and emotional attention that he or she needs, the parent could be out doing other things to try to sustain the food, the clothes, and the shelter for the child. And more than likely, when it comes to the law of probability, the child will go out and seek that from somewhere else. Maybe if the neurological transmitters possibly could have been disconnected, and it may try to reconnect it, but not knowing how to reconnect, and they may put it in the wrong socket, and it creates a what we call a negative reaction, or could be a overdose, because we live in a society where people will use what we call medication and drugs, and I'm not saying that that's helpful. In fact, is evidence to prove that it is helpful. But we go about trying to reduce anxiety and induce some form of peace. So this social disorder, learning disability, once the ecology and environment is one is thrown off, one intellectual aptitude for learning becomes difficult. There we have the drama. Someone says, I believe with Shakespeare, all worlds is a stage, and we're merely actors in a play. On this stage of life of existence, there is no balance in the life of the individual, and even in the environment in which we live, and no balance in the environment of the left and the right brain hemisphere, the creativity and the analytical ability that humans have. The play, it is said that we're not created for sport and play, but the theater, the theatrics that people act out when it comes to drama. And we see it in radio, we see it on the movie screen, we see it on television. It's acting very emotional. Deal with a series of circumstances, because circumstances makes us other than ourselves. Entertainment. Things are not just created for entertaining purpose only. You just to reflect on what's going on in the society. There are stories that some may think is true, but what is telling you what is happening amongst us in the society. For example, the story of Cain and Abel, and we know Seth and Harut. Set and Harut. It is a drama that is being played out. See, we're born in a condition, placed in a situation, surrounded by circumstances, consequently due to some previous activity that's taken place there. You have the why. But yes, this trauma that is played out. And if you don't deal with it and understand what is going on, then it becomes it leads to trauma. The trauma. And remember, it is the balance of the environment, the SDLD, the social disorder, learning disability. The injury, the extent of the injury could be so damaging that and you can tell the drama that is acted out due to the extent of the injury. Still talking about social disorder, learning disability. Because humans are only responding due to the extent of the damage and the injury that has been done to his or her humanity. And then it becomes, as a doctor would say, we're not going to say his name, he said that he connected to the crisis, then it becomes a crisis. A humanity, a community, a people, a person in crisis, because he or she is acting out the trauma, and it becomes a crisis. Yet, in those connections, the trauma, crisis, in the Chinese sense says it is a hidden opportunity. And when there is a hidden opportunity, you're really dealing with problem-solving skills, decision-making process. But the problem-solving skills is when you make the paradigm shift from victim to victorious. You overcome the deficit perspective. As this is what I can say, this is what Dr. Winkler shared about the deficit perspective. As Imam Wamdi Muhammad talks about, it's too much victim, too much victim. You make this paradigm shift. You become more of an optimist, more and less of a pessimist. What yet the intentions must be right, because people can see the opportunity to take advantage of your vulnerability, take advantage of things that you do not know, because they themselves have not dealt with their social disorder learning ability. They have not dealt with their own drama of the trauma that leads to the crisis, because you can tell the collective psychology of one's mentality by what he or she produces. Until next time, talk to you.